Hello and welcome to Postcard and a Pint. I'm Rachel.
And I'm Wills.
And today, we're in Rhyl. Now, poor old Rhyl doesn't half get some flack as being, shall we say, not the most salubrious of places to visit. In fact, poor old Rhyl was named as one of the worst seaside towns in Britain just a few years back. But is it really as bad as they say? Today, we'll be visiting this favourite childhood resort of ours. We'll boogie on the beach, go potty for the penny falls, and decide for ourselves, is Rhyl really that bad? We're starting today's walk outside the Rhyl Pavilion Theatre at the outdoor gym. Oh, he's so buff. Not. We're now at the Rhyl Pavilion Theatre. Now, we've both done a fair bit of work here over the years. In fact, I choreographed 6 pantos 6 years in a row here with various people. Brilliant fun times. What I love about this theatre, not now, but it used to have the old baths, the old sun centre attached to the side of it. It was the only theatre I've ever been in where you go through the door and you're hit with a massive smell of chlorine. Happy days.
About 300 years ago, when I was a wee little nipper and decided I wanted to work in the theatre business, this was the first place I actually wrote to try and get a job here, or a YTS as it was then. Unfortunately, they turned me down. Well, I say unfortunately, it's probably fortunately because I ended up where I ended up, which is all good. But over the years, I've done a bit of work here, got to know all the guys here that work here, and they're all a good bunch. I've seen many shows here over the years, and yeah, good place.
Okay, so this isn't the most exciting block of apartments, but it's where the Grange Hotel once stood. A gorgeous Victorian hotel that doubled up as the theatre bar. But it burnt down. Now, this pub here behind me, Rhyl, was a godsend. When we worked in the theatre, they never kept the theatre bar open. After the Grange had burnt down, nowhere to go. So this opened on my last year of Panto, I think. It's called Rhyl, which means sun verge or sun rising. Apart from the old actors, after being in there for 10 minutes, rechristened it Mind Your Hole. And apparently it's been Mind Your Hole ever since. We may pop into Mind Your Hole for a little pint later. So off we toddle down the seafront. One thing you can't take away from Rhyl is its beautiful beach. It's so expansive, especially when the tide's out. Ooh, you can't beat fish and chips by the sea. No chips for us today though, we're on a bloody diet. This is Rhyl Events Arena. It might look really empty now, but in the summer, this place can be rocking. They have gigs outside, did you know? Even Tom Jones has played here. Cool. So pop to Rhyl this summer if you want to see any of these concerts. Well, so far, it seems to have everything your British seaside resort should have.
Now, somewhere over there used to be a pier. Now, it was opened in 1867 and was 718 metres long. Woo! Unfortunately, it was closed in the 60s and demolished in the 70s. Boo!
This is Rhyl Clock Tower. It was unveiled in December 1948 and marks the bottom of the high street. Now, this is where the title of worst seaside town may have a point. It's just so tired and every second shop is a discount store. Is that Willy Rock Wills? In amongst the discount stores, oh, and by the way, I read those huggy wuggy things will kill you in your sleep. Leave them well alone. There are actually some lovely buildings. All right, fellas? This is Rhyl Town Hall, a beautiful Grade 2 listed building built in the Gothic style. It's made from Penmaenmawr stone and opened in 1876.
Now, this pile of rubble here used to be a place called the Savoy Bistro, and that was a sort of nightclub, arcadey type nightclub type thing. Very famous place in Rhyl. Used to have a lot of gigs there. In fact, I used to engineer there. I used to do a couple of bands back in the day. It was also the family home of West End leading lady Rebecca Traherne, who we know and have worked with many times. I've known her for about 20 years now. And yeah, this was it.
And now that's it.
And now that's it.
It's so sad to see what was once a huge part of Old Rhyl reduced to this. As you walk through town, the old buildings leap out at you as classy survivors of a bygone era. This building has so much history for me, and I'd not stepped inside the doors for over 20 years. And to my delight, it was not only open, but...
This hasn't changed at all. Gosh. Oh my god, that was the cafe at the end. And then you go down to the changing rooms. Wow.
This memory wall was fascinating to see. This is Rhyl Little Theatre, and back in the day we used to do a dance competition here. Back in the early 80s it was the highlight of the dance competition year. Mum would be busy being a dance teacher. We were allowed to go into Rhyl, we'd go down to the beat to beat donkeys. It was Rhyl in its heyday. It was fantastic. Random as we walked through the door, thought, oh, it's open, walked straight into somebody we know. His name's Jordan Barnes, and Wills knows him better than I do. And he was like, oh, hi guys, do you want a tour? So I think we've just ended up backstage in Aladdin. It was cool, take a look.
It looks so small, the stage now. Do you know what? Well, I'll take you on it. In a second. No problem.
Rehearsal space?
Yeah.
It reminds me of, do you know Pint Theatre in Oxford?
Do you know what? I've been backstage in that one.
It was fantastic to be backstage here once again, and reminded of why I loved Rhyl so much as a child. Back to the seafront, and yes, one of our favourite pastimes, the arcades. Now these machines are all as old as the day and incredibly retro.
Oh yeah, alright. Oh yeah.
Oh. And I failed miserably. What we loved was that there wasn't an LED light in sight anywhere. Good old-fashioned bulbs giving that authentic feel. Amazing. This is the current fun fair in Rhyl. It's a very poor relation to its predecessor. Once the fair in Rhyl was a major attraction. It was called Ocean Beach and located near the Marine Lake, but more about that later. Now that little dude sums up Rhyl. This is the Sky Tower, or Observation Tower. It started life in 1988 at the Glasgow Garden Festival, and then it moved to Rhyl the following year. Now what it did is it just took you up. There was a little capsule, I guess, took you up, you looked around, and it brought you down. Nothing exciting. It closed in 2010 when it was discovered it needed £400,000 of work to it to make it safe to keep it operational. It's now a beacon, lights up lovely at night. We've just gone past Ryl's new indoor exciting leisure facility, because we did say the old Sun Centre that used to be on the side of the theatre was pulled down. When I was in Panto rehearsals they were talking about it, they talked about the SC2, and I thought, what a wanky name. And actually it turned out that 4 months later I worked out that it actually stood for Sun Centre 2. Not so bad after all. Looks cool though. Bless, she's not that bright, is she? The beach, as we said, is very vast when the tide's out and is your place to come for shells. Ah, Rhyl, where the sea is brown and the sky is grey. This piece of artwork sits in Drift Park by the new Sun Centre. It shows Rhyl in picture tiles from 1794 to 2006. What a vibrant and bustling seafront it once was. We both remember the monorail, although I doubt we'd have done very well in the lovely legs competition. A lovely throwback to the iconic donkeys who once worked this beach. This monument is already looking tired, and it's only stood since 2007. Down the promenade we went. One thing I will say is that the old and the new just don't work with each other yet. And I'm sorry, that's hideous.
Just over there where the shops are is where the fair used to be. We used to love going to the fair when we were young. It was fantastic. But one of my fair stories is we went there with school on the school trip. I can't remember how old I was. Must have been 15, 16. And I got my ear pierced. My mates dared me to do it and I got my ear pierced. And the teacher went absolute ape on me, I tell you. He said, "You will not wear that for school tomorrow." So fair enough, I went home. Got told off by my mum as well. And I tried to take it out. It was a little gold stud. And my mum has never had earrings, and we didn't know how to take it out. We were pulling it, and I was going green and nearly fainting. It was horrible. So don't get your ear pierced on a fair.
In Rhyl.
In Rhyl.
It's so sad that this once popular fair is now a retail park, and a poor one at that. We got to the end of the promenade and arrived at the harbour. You can arrange boat tours and fishing trips from here. It's quite a pretty harbour. We loved watching the birds assisting this fishing boat. This is the forward bridge that crosses the River Clwyd. It's commonly known as the Blue Bridge. Can't think why. One of the yearly highlights in Rhyl is the air show. This event is totally free and thousands flock to Rhyl to watch it. We've reached the end of the promenade now. Here we are at the harbour. We're at our halfway point. We're going to make our way back through. So far, we've had a lovely time, and all the people who have been on the beach seem to be having a lovely time as well. So maybe Rhyl isn't as bad as everyone makes out. This is the newer bridge crossing the River Clwyd. Pont y Draig, or Dragon Bridge. This is Marine Lake, the only saltwater lake in North Wales. It opened on May the 24th, 1895, which was Queen Victoria's birthday. It has a miniature steam railway that goes all the way round the lake. The steam trains were built in Rhyl during the 1920s and have been taking passengers around the lake for the last 80 years. Sadly, we got here just after it had closed. We love this tile on the wall of Marine Park in its heyday, with the fun fair in the background. Don't poo on the car! Too late. Oh no, she's in again. I swear I have an arcades addiction. And yet more rock. Those red dummies were a highlight in the 80s dance comp weekend. Yet more arcades. And a cinema. And even more arcades. Oh no, she's in again. Ah, the bingo. So much fun when it's running, but nothing beats the 2p falls. I think this display needs a little attention. Slowly we made our way back to Rhyl/Mind Your Hole. Our feet were now aching. This is the East Parade Bowling Club, one of Wales's oldest bowling clubs. It's been running for over 100 years. Impressive. A quick nip into the Memorial Gardens for Wills to film and me to sit down, as I was now too tired to function. Then back to Mind Your Hole for a drink.
God, my feet are killing me. We're back at Mind Your Hole. We've been doing some walking today. Stopped for a pint of pop, not gone for beer today. And yeah, it's been a good day. So, cheers.
Like Wills, my feet are absolutely killing me, but I've had a lovely day. Is Rhyl as bad as everyone says it is? Well, there are some absolutely lovely bits. The Lightpool bit is just a shame that some of it is so run down. But they're pouring a lot of money into the seafront at the moment. Fingers crossed, in time it will return to its lovely heyday. So, we'll better round things up. Let's do the whole like, subscribe, all of that. And as we say in Postcard and a Pint, cheers to the good times. And that's Rhyl. Is it as bad as they say? You decide.
I used to work in a bar in Rhyl, and this guy came in, bought a beer. I said, would you like a drink for your wife? He said, ooh, that sounds like a fair swap.
Oh.